What's up, everybody? It is Prof Sales. It is Monday night, and we are live on the interwebs. Let's see how our sound is. Let me see how it's sounding here. Oh, got to get by the ad first, right? Can't do it without ads. Let's see how our sound. Sounds good. Glenn's in the room. What's up, Swamp? Stone Mason, Mark already here. Guys, I hope you're doing well. It is Monday, September 26th, and I haven't done a revenue wrap Monday night show in a while. So I thought I'd come on a Monday night, see what everybody's up to, have a little fun, have a little good conversation, maybe learn a few things. I'll definitely share some results from this weekend, hence the title, Amazing Weekend Sales on eBay. And, we'll just have a good time tonight. So hope everybody out there is doing well. We already got 9 people watching, so that's awesome. So if you have your questions tonight too, guys, just so I see them, I've got the chat up on the side. Please type question in caps, or type, 3 question marks maybe in front of the question, just so I know it's a question, not a comment. And if someone else in the chat doesn't answer it, I'll do my best to answer it too. I do my best to catch all of them, but you have to let me know. All right, so that having said, how has everybody's week been going? Or how did your week go, rather? I guess it's Monday now. And, another week has ended if you end your week on Sundays. I don't know if that's the case. But I want to say, there was a story going around this past week in the reseller community about a glitch on eBay. And basically the glitch says something like, you're allowing people to pay with PayPal could have gotten turned off in your eBay settings. And unfortunately, I didn't know about this glitch. I somehow missed it for a few days. And I never really changed anything in my settings. But there was a time frame last week where my sales dropped to like nothing. And I think it's perhaps because of that glitch, and maybe eBay went in and fixed the glitch. But man, this weekend was crazy. I had the best 3 days I've had in a row since I started this challenge to get up to 5,000 listings. And quite honestly, it's depleted my inventory a little bit, which is a good thing. Karin and I learned a lot about how to process and ship out when you have a lot of orders at once. And so we've got some great ideas on how to expedite that process so that when you have to ship a lot in one day, that gets a little tricky, because all of a sudden, you only got to keep track of 1 or 2 things, and all of a sudden you got to keep track of a lot. It can get a little overwhelming. You can lose track of where things are at. You've got all this paperwork you got to do with it. Obviously, you've got your shipping labels, your shipping envelopes. It was a little bit of a thing, for lack of a better word. So it was a great weekend. It was, and what's even crazier, guys, is that I got up virtually no listings over the weekend. The last day I did a listing was on the 22nd, which I think was Friday. No. Sunday, Saturday. That was Thursday. That was the last day I got any listings up. I didn't get any listings up Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and still, I mean, it was nuts. So I'm really happy about how the weekend went. I don't know if the glitch affected me or not, but it definitely, something definitely made this weekend just blow up. I did run a sale, and I will say that I ran a sale of 10% off my entire store. I don't know how you guys do it. I usually do the entire store. I've tried one where I just did certain listings, but honestly, I think the entire store is better because you don't know what people are going to be looking at that day, that night. And when they see that 10% off, it's a powerful inducement to them to buy. So while I definitely probably took a little hit in the profitability of each item, I also got a great pop just in overall sales. And you know what, guys? You know what it really gave me? It gave me a sign of things to come. Because I don't know about you guys, and a lot of you guys are out there and selling, and you're at all different levels, you know, and I'm at one level and you're at a different level, and some of you are above me, some of you are below me in terms of how much you sell. But, and you know, when you start getting a lot of sales all at once, it forces you to think about things. Like I was saying earlier, force you to think about, how do I get, I mean, this sounds dumb and so simplistic, guys, you're going to laugh, but I went up to the inventory room on, oh gosh, what day was that? That was last night, Sunday night. And I went up there and to bring down all these sales. And I thought, I can't even carry all these. I could bring a container up, you know, and it was just too many jeans to carry. And then I thought, and then I had a little issue with one of them where I had inputted the wrong SKU number in eBay. Everything else was right, but I didn't put the wrong SKU number. So I had to make a note of that on the sheet so that I could come down and figure that out. And I did figure it out pretty quickly. It was just a simple typo on my part, no big deal. But just even the simple thing of like, how do I carry or get this many orders from one area to the next? And then when I got them down here, I put them over on the table over here where I take my photographs, or Karin takes photographs. And quite honestly, guys, it was like they were stacked up really high. They fell over at one point. And then I thought, man, I've got a bunch of different sheets here of the printouts. How do I keep them in order? What order do I start with? I mean, it was all these little things that I usually never have to worry about. And it was just really bizarre, you know. I mean, it was a great problem to have. Don't get me wrong. I am not complaining at all. But it was very strange to have to figure those things out. So, you know, that was kind of what my Sunday was like. I didn't really get any business done. I didn't really get any business done yesterday or Saturday, quite honestly. So, you know, it all got done like really last night and today. Karin and I went out today. We were going to do a short sourcing run. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when we go out for a short sourcing run, it tends to not become a short sourcing run. So for those of you who are jean sellers, you can appreciate this, but we went out and we were going to go to a couple stores we hadn't been to in a long time. A couple stores that were kind of far away from us, but we were going to go there. We were going to eat lunch at a Whole Foods, which is up there, which we like to do occasionally. We were going to work our way back down. But the short sourcing run turned into about 6 hours. So it wasn't really short. We ended up hitting 5 stores. We purchased, let me see if I can share that. Maybe I can share this with you. Yeah, so I'll do a quick screen share so you guys can, you know, that way you can kind of see where I was at. Let's see if I can pull this up. Oh, that's not what I need. I got too many windows open. Save me, Calgon. All right, so let me go here, and I'll show you kind of what we bought, just kind of the numbers. And this is what happens when you go out for a short sourcing run and you're not really focused on exactly where it's going to go. So you can see this short sourcing run was today. So we bought, what is this, 24, 22, 8. That store wasn't the greatest. 29 and 23. So I don't know what that totals right there. 46, 54, 83, 106 items, and spent a bit over $500. So, you know, that kind of gives you an idea about what we got. Almost, not all those were jeans, but most of them were jeans. So it was a great, it was a nice little run. We hit 5 stores. We basically got 98 pair of jeans at 5 different stores. So that was great. Spent about $500. Had a great day of it. It was fun to get back out sourcing again, since we haven't been out sourcing together in over a week. And now we have inventory. I'll try to pick this up and show you what it looks like. Let me close this down so I can see when it's going. So you can probably see there all the Goodwill bags and all the ones over there in the shelving unit. So hey, there's our product, right? Really a good day. Cannot complain about it at all. We had not been to these stores. Get that reset. We'd not been to a lot of these in quite a while. So it was great to go hit these stores that we just haven't really had a chance to get to lately. So yeah, I mean, so it just goes to show you guys, when you go for a short sourcing run, be prepared for it not to be short. And be prepared for it to be a big sourcing run. You know, I mean, we've gotten more in a day than that, for sure. But considering that, let me turn this mic a little, sorry guys. Considering that we did not intend to go buy that many jeans or go to that many stores, even though it was only 5, you've always got to be ready. So it was a great day. We got a lot of great jeans today. I mean, just to give you guys an idea, I mean, I know not everybody listening to this is a jean seller, but, you know, 98 pair of jeans at my current net profit per jean is like $953. So it's a big total. And hey, Ben. So you know, that was basically a day where you made almost $1,000, which is really good. Now, obviously, there's more work to be done. We've got to get those jeans photographed and listed and all that good stuff, and of course, sell them. It'll take a while, but it doesn't matter. I mean, if you think about it, if you can take 2 people out for a total of 12 hours between us and make $1,000, I mean, that's pretty good. That's over $80 an hour. So, you know, don't be afraid to go out and go big when you go on these sourcing runs, guys. And by the way, I did grab some Amazon items. I did scan some books while I was out. I kind of got my feet wet with doing that in the store. Oh, and by the way, that brings up one of the things I mentioned was a pushy reseller. So I go to this one store and I'm in this little section of books, and this one store has like a big section of books, and then it's got them kind of on some smaller shelving units in front of the big wall. So there's 3 or 4 different areas for the books. And I'm on this one section, and this section's probably, oh, I don't know, 3.5, maybe 4 feet long, the shelf. So I'm standing there, and I've been there for probably 2 or 3 minutes, and I'm scanning some books. You know, I'm kind of cherry picking, honestly, not going through all of them, which I should be doing. But I'm kind of feeling my way out with books a little bit and learning a few things. So I'm just scanning using the Amazon seller app, or actually I believe I was using Scoutify. So I'm scanning these books. And this guy who was doing the exact same thing, he comes over and he starts scanning the section between me. Now remember, this section is only 4 feet wide, and now there's 2 people standing there. So we're taking up, you know, most of the room. And he's actually typing the titles in, which is not very efficient, but whatever. He's typing them in, but I know that's what he's doing because I can see the Amazon screen coming up on his, why he's not scanning, I don't know. But anyway, I can see it coming up on his phone. So he gets done with his section because, you know, he only really typed in about 2 in about, oh, I don't know, probably 40 books. And he does this number, guys. Now remember, I'm standing right here where my left hand is. He does this number. His face gets like right here. He's like looking at the books. I mean, he's literally got his face. If I go like this, I would have hit him in the face. Or my face would have hit his face. And so I'm there and I'm kind of going through, and he's like this. And this went on for probably 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, no joke. And I could see him kind of dart his eyes at me a few times, you know? And I guess he thought I was going to move. I didn't move. So I do what I always do. So here's a trick I use, guys. You can decide if you want to use it or not. When you're faced with another reseller, or maybe just somebody who's really pushy in your section, and they're up on top of you like that, here's what I like to do. I do a couple things, but it's basically the same concept. I will take a book. I don't have a book right here in front of me. Pretend this is a book. Oh, here's a book. I will take a book and I will pull it out, and it can be any book you want. And I will literally just start reading it, and I will start reading it out loud sometimes. Literally reading the book out loud. And after I read a page, I will read another page. And if I have to, I'll read another page. And what I find is people realize this dude's crazy. He's going to stand here and read this entire book. And they tend to move. They tend to move on. And this guy could have moved on because there were several other sections he could have went to, maybe gone to all of them. But, it's like, wait your turn, man. Don't try to get up in somebody's face like that. The other thing I'll do is I'll just stand there and just start typing on my phone, or I'll just pull up like a website and just start reading it. Just little tips, I see a couple people in the room are saying that they will sneeze and cough. That's pretty funny, Yvonne. That's kind of funny. Like cough in his direction and say, sorry, I've got the flu. Even better, right? Burp. Yeah, that'll work too. I'm not advocating you be rude. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating that at all. But what I am saying to you is, don't let someone push you away from your business. The reality is you're there working and you need to scan and look at an area or be in that area at that moment. And if you stop and go somewhere else, you're going to have to come back. That's not a very efficient way to do it. You're going to forget your place. I just don't leave. I don't be rude. I'm not going to be rude. I will, if someone's coming down a row of jeans at me and I'm coming a row and it's obvious neither one of us is going to give, when we get to right where we're on top of each other, and I've had times where I've reached for a pair of jeans and someone's reached and grabbed the same pair at the same time to look at, I say, hey, you ready? Hey, let's switch. You want to switch places? And I've never had an issue with that. Usually you'll just switch, you'll go around them, they come around you, and you just go about your business. But don't let people push you out of the way. I'm not advocating you push them back, but just stand your ground. You've got just as much right to be there as they do. And, unless you're just standing there to not let them scan something, that doesn't seem right. If you're actually still looking through the section, I'll look through the section. All right, we got some other, we got 18 people in the room. Thank you guys for that. I appreciate it. Some other people in the room have some other suggestions. Let's to crop dust some people. Turtle says, all right, Turtle, well, if you can do that on demand, all right. Mike says that an accusing of being a racist really loud. Well, here in Charlotte, Mike, that's kind of a sensitive subject right now, so I might have to hold off on that. What's up, Mike? Yvonne says, it's hard. I'm a baby Christian, a Jesus freak, but I'll flip some tables, so to speak. I like that. Okay. Sadie, what's up, buddy? Hope everyone checked their eBay settings. There's a bad glitch. Yeah, Sadie, we talked about that at the beginning. You're exactly right. But it's worth mentioning again. Check your eBay settings. Check to make sure that you're accepting PayPal payments. Hey, and I'm going to say something about that too. I don't know if anybody else has ever gotten this message from a buyer, but I have over the last couple years gotten messages from buyers who will say, hey, it says you're not accepting payments. And I'm getting payments from other people. That is a different glitch, I think, and it's a glitch on their end, the buyer's end. I always refer them to PayPal or eBay. I even had one guy who said he talked to both of them, and they said nothing was wrong, but he still couldn't buy, but other people were buying from me. So that's a little bit of a different glitch, I think, but I run into that one. I just had that one happen last week, as a matter of fact. Somebody said, hey, it says you're not accepting payments. And I had just taken a sale literally 5 minutes before. So I know there was nothing wrong with it. But be on the lookout for that one too. A buyer messaged you and said, it says that you're not accepting payments. Pretty much can guarantee you that is not on your end. But, if you're in doubt, contact eBay or PayPal and make sure. But usually that's on the buyer's end. All right. So 21 people watching. That is awesome. Thank you guys for that. Man, good turnout on a Monday night. I do appreciate it. So what else? Okay. So if Mike says he's gotten it on immediate payment listings. Yeah, and that's all I do, Mike. So that's probably why I get it every once in a while. I only do immediate payment. So that could be the reason I get it. Might be some sort of glitch with that part of eBay system. So, all right, but man, a great weekend. I don't know. I mean, I know some of you guys are just now filtering in. I don't know how it was for you, but man, it was crazy busy. It was definitely the best weekend I've had so far. So I thought I would take a few moments to share that weekend and what it looked like. So let me, I'm going to pull up my, I'm going to pull up my spreadsheet so you guys can see how it went. And let me minimize that. Do a little quick screen share here. Screen share. Oh, all right. All right, now let me move this out of the way. Man, I tell you, sometimes getting this thing to work right is just driving me nuts. All right, so there's that. And boom. All right, so I'm going to move this up a little. All right, so today is the 26th. So you can see, I'm going to refer you back to Friday and actually even Thursday. Thursday I had 9 pairs sold. Friday was 17, the best day I've had since I started this challenge. Great day, 382 gross, not far from the $400 mark. Sunday was 12, another strong day. Oh, hold on, I'm off my days here. Saturday was 12, Sunday was 11, another strong day. So between the 3 days, that's 29, that's 40 pair of jeans sold over those 3 days for a total of about, probably about $880, which is really good over that short a span. You know, I wish I could say that there was something to attribute that to, but I really can't, other than just, it just happened, man. It's like the floodgates turn on, and it was great. Here's September so far. So my listings are averaging 700. Spent about $1,900 on jeans, counting what I spent today. 267 photo, 258 listed, 22 stores, 164 sold. So we've already blown away last month, the 134. Averaging 5.5 a day, and that's still growing. Gross of almost 4,000. That does not include all the jeans from today, actually. So that's actually already over 4,000. A net of over $1,500. Net margin still holding around 40%. Net per jean fell a little to $957. That's partly because I ran this sale of 10% off, so that sort of makes sense. It's going to drop a little bit. Sell-through has been 23%, and that's still going up too, so we might hit that 1% per day. I will try to show you the graph. Hopefully you can see those. So listings up went down because, you know, I just sold a ton this weekend. Sell-through is pretty good. I mean, these last 4 days have all been above 1. And so the trend is like 0.9 actually, I think. Sold and listed, you can see sold a nice strong upward slope. Listed, I need to get on the ball, which I'm going to tomorrow. We're going to list, we've got about 150 pair to list now, which is great. Gross per day, right now I'm trending around about $160. It looks like somewhere around here. So that's pretty good. And jeans bought. So great numbers. You know, let me save my change to get out of the spreadsheet. I can't. Let's see what the comments were. I probably missed a few guys. Sorry, buddy. Said. So yeah, I don't know how everybody else's weekend was, but man, that was a great weekend. And I was talking about this earlier. So Karin and I. So I go upstairs, and this was last night. Yeah, last night. So I hadn't really processed any of my orders from Saturday, and I hadn't really processed any from Sunday. So Sunday night, last night, I go up and I've got 22 items to bring down. Now, if I can tell you, I don't know if you can see it or not. You can see that stack up there behind me that is on the shelf. That stack has 2, 4, 6, 8. That stack has 9 in it. So imagine that stack times 2 and a little bit more. So, so when I got up there and I started setting them on the table I have, and I realized right away, it's like, man, I don't have enough room. I can't carry all these. Like they were like this high, you know? I mean, they were crazy. So I had to take a mail bin up. Then I brought them all down, and I'm like, I printed off all I always send an invoice with each one. I don't know if you guys do it or not. And I just so the person knows who they got them from, I'll put a message on there about, hey, if you got any questions, you're not satisfied, contact me first, please. Let me try to make it right before you leave feedback. And, you know, it costs you nothing to do that, just a sheet of paper and a little bit of toner. And I think occasionally it will save you, you know, some negative feedback. So I had to print off all 22 sheets of that. The shipping was like $120. I had to print off all 20 some labels of that. And now I'm sitting here with this mound of jeans, this decent stack of paperwork, and this decent stack of, you know, shipping labels. And I'm thinking to myself, and I've got the listing sheet that's got, well, you know, all the ones that I've sold and the SKU numbers and everything. And I just thought, you know, man, I brought this down, but I'm not really organized. I mean, I thought, gosh, just to go through each one of these, because Karin came up with this idea, and it's a good idea to like take the jeans and put the shipping label, actually in stacks of 2, because there's 2 labels that print on a page. So put each label on each shipping label page and the 2 invoices with each 2 pair of jeans. So you can just kind of pair them up, and then you go through and put them in the envelopes. I didn't have it set up that way, and therefore, I mean, I just had this big conglomeration of jeans and paperwork and labels, and it was a mess. And I think I told you earlier, I had one that I had put the wrong SKU number on in eBay in the SKU number section. And so then I had to go figure out what that one was, which took another 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, guys, it took me, Karin came in right at the end and helped me process some right at the end. It probably took an hour to go get all those jeans, bring them all down, get the shipping label set up, it was crazy. I mean, I had like 2 bins of items to go out. And I started thinking, you know, man, that's a lot of jeans to go out at one time. And then I started thinking about something. That was 2 days of sales, pretty much, okay? Once I get up to 5,000 listings, I'm probably going to sell twice that many every day. And some days, maybe even 3 times that much. Just, you know, with the variation in how, and I thought, I am not prepared for that. I realized I am not prepared for that. Like, I don't have systems in place to handle when the volume gets up that high. And I know I got a while before I have to worry about it being that high, but it was just kind of a precursor of things to come. And it just reminded me, you know, you got to have good systems in place. You got to be organized. You got to know where everything goes. You got to know after, like, I didn't even have another shipping bin. We had to go pull one out of the garage and unload it with some other crap that was in it. I mean, it was just all these things. And then carrying the post office today, it kind of took 2 of us, you know, and they had to take it at the door because the hopper was full. And, oh, man, it was nuts. But, you know, whether you're shipping out 1 item a day or 100 items a day, you know, you got to be organized with that. So I realized I got to think about, all right, what's this going to look like when this volume is just an everyday thing, when every day is 20 orders or 30 orders? You know, what's it going to look like? Where am I going to set it? How am I going to get the right paperwork, the right jeans, and the right label with the right jeans? And, oh, man, I tell you, reseller issues, right, guys? So, I mean, it's a great problem to have, and it was a great weekend for sales. Yvonne says, an hour is not that bad. Yeah, it felt so long, Yvonne. I mean, it felt like it was just taking me forever to get all those done. But, I got them all done, and I was sitting there, and I looked at them, and I went, man, that was a good weekend. It was a good weekend, right? And so we were really happy with it. We went out and just restocked. We've got enough for at least 5 days of listings, I think, now at 30 listings a day. We've got at least 150 pair of jeans here. We've still got the 50-some pair. Someone sent me a message tonight. I think it was Deborah on Facebook about someone else who was selling a big lot of jeans. So we're going to get those up probably tomorrow morning. So I will let you guys know how the big lot of jeans that aren't really quite up to my standard to sell on eBay. So we have about 50, I think we have 56 pair of those. And this new batch, will generate some more, I'm sure, which we might lump those in with these as we go. I don't know. Doesn't really matter too much. But, just make sure that you have, I guess the moral of the story is make sure you have a process in place for how you do things. Don't wing it, because I kind of felt like I was winging it a little bit last night, and it was stressing me out a little bit because I couldn't quite grasp how much it was. And I thought, wait, is that the stack that starts with this sheet, or is that the stack that starts with this sheet? Like, I realized I wasn't doing it in a very efficient way, and I probably cost myself a decent amount of time and stress just because, Okay, so anyway, enough about me and my issues. So I want to hear about you guys. I want to hear what kind of questions you have, and let's try to tackle them as a community. What sort of challenges you've been running into lately? How your sales have been? What can we do to help you? What do you find is easier than you thought? What do you think is harder than you thought? All those kinds of questions. Just type them in the chat. I'll repeat them, and we will try to get through them as best we can. And as Glenn says, please hit the like button. I do appreciate that. Lets me know that's good content, even if you're watching this later. It lets YouTube know I'm providing good content, and it's just an all-around nice thing to do for people. All right, so Yvonne said IKEA big blue bag. Yeah, funny you mentioned that. I was right near IKEA today, and the IKEA here in Charlotte, Yvonne, is a stone's throw from one of the Walmarts where the protesting and rioting was earlier this week. One of the Walmarts that got the windows smashed in, which we drove by today. We drove by the entrance, and it was fine. It was all fixed. So, whatever. But a little personal side note there. Turtle says, I do not use the hopper. It took 3 days to get scanned. Yeah, that's a good point, Turtle. I'm not sure. Mine seems to be pretty quick in my post office, but do a test run with your post office if you're having issues with that, because it could be you have the same problem. Whatever way you can get them scanned the quickest is what I would tell you to do, because that saves you on that handling time. Yvonne says, any clues as to why eBay's bulk edit does not work for bulk removal of some code you added? I don't know the answer to that, Yvonne, but I would say that my experience has been in general that eBay's interface works really well for what it says it does, but when you try to do anything else other than that, it gets really problematic. So I would probably be very cautious about using eBay's system to do anything outside of its own preset, descriptions, listings, editing, whatever. I mean, I don't know. It just seems a little clunky to me. I like it in a lot of ways, but there's always just a little factor, like it's always just a few years behind, I think, sometimes in the technology. Hopefully no one from eBay is listing right now, and now all my sales are going to tank because I just ragged on eBay. I love eBay, don't get me wrong, but it can always be made better. Yvonne says, not risking it either. I wait for a scan in. I want my TRS discount. Yeah, someone emailed me the other night and asked about that. They said, all right, so I sell an item after 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 6 p.m. Pacific Time. I handle it on Tuesday night. I actually process it, and then I get scanned in Wednesday morning, but I'm still getting late on my handling time through eBay. So they were losing their top rater seller status, or they were in danger of it. And I told them, I said, you know what? When you process that order, I would get that to the post office as soon as possible. I would not wait, because, you know, you don't know how quick their systems update. You don't know if that info is going to get sent through their info to their system to eBay or not quickly enough. Why risk it? If you process an order on Tuesday morning in the morning, man, I'm telling you guys, take it to the post office Tuesday. Don't fool around and wait. I would not do it. I think it's just a recipe for disaster. It might be fine, but it might not. Why not just hedge your bets and go ahead and take it the same day you process it, and you don't have to worry about it. Turtle says, what kind of printer to use for labeling? That's a great question, Turtle. I'm thinking about switching to the Dymo printer, but right now I use a Brother 20, the heck is it? A Brother 2360 DW. Brother 2360 DW printer, laser printer. It's a good little printer, and it's not that expensive. I mean, I recommend it. I really do. Overall, it's been a really good printer. I mean, it doesn't jam up very often. It's it's very simple. It's just black and white. I think I paid $120 for it, maybe new, somewhere around there. I don't know. Maybe it was less than that. I can't remember. But I would get the Brother 2360 DW, I think is great. And I don't remember who I got that from. Some other reseller on YouTube probably mentioned it, quite honestly. But it's a great printer. And if you're printing, like I print, I'll show you guys. Like I print the 2-a-page, half-page labels, because the reason I do that is because they really fit nicely on a padded flat rate envelope like that. And, you know, it's a nice big print. You can see it really well. If I go to the Dymo printer, which I love, I have a Dymo 450 label writer turbo. But if I go to that, it's going to be a small label. I don't know that I want to go to that. I just think I don't know. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. I mean, I get these labels cheap. You can get 1,000 labels for, I don't know what they are, like $28 or $22, something like that. So, you know, they're not that expensive. You know, the only downside to them is that occasionally, you know, they'll get jammed because they're just cheap labels, I guess. I don't know why labels jam. I have no idea. But I like being able to print out 2 on a page. That's kind of nice, because then I can pull it out and I can do 1 and 2. And the funny thing about eBay is, I don't know if it's the way I print them, but they print kind of in the reverse order of the invoices. So if I print out 10 labels, the 10th label is the first invoice. So I was going to kind of flip them around. Brian says, the men's hats, vintage snapback sell, same profit margins as jeans. Yeah, I'm sure they do, Brian. I just don't know anything about them. But I've heard that. I've heard that hats, vintage snapbacks are, and there's definitely a lot of hats around my area. Problem Solve says, do you sell anything else apart from jeans? How much do you put into sourcing other items? What I typically do, I do sell other things. I sell things locally sometimes on, you know, the local sites, OfferUp, Craigslist. Those can be all kinds of things. Video games, they could be electronics. I do sell some things on Amazon as well, such as books, such as video games, such as electronics, board games. And what I tend to do is when we first go into a thrift, if we're sourcing jeans, I will source other things in the store first while Karin starts on the jeans, and then I will get there and finish her, or help her finish up. Excuse me. Sadie says, I'm slowly changing my GTC to 10 or 30 days. It took me a long time to admit it, but it does matter in my opinion. Yeah, Sadie, I've been going back and switching my good till cancels to 30 days. I'll do like 10 a day. And that's a good thing to do. I think too, like if you're not actually doing any listings that day, like for whatever reason, you can go in and choose 10, end them, and then just relist them. And I think it counts as like listings that day, but I don't know. I don't know if it does or not, but it seems to kind of keep the pump prime, so to speak. But I've been doing that too. I still got about 400 to go. I mean, I got a lot to go. Will the dymos speed up the process? That's a great question, Nose. I don't know. I need to research that a little bit. I'm not sure it does, honestly. I mean, these print really fast. And you print 2 at a time, and you can print, you just bulk select all. I don't know. Maybe if somebody's got experience printing Dymo shipping labels for eBay, they could chime in on that. I just don't know. But it's worth thinking about at least. Fun says, I've switched mine from 30 to good till cancel, and sales have picked up. So, as for every rule there is in reselling, there's always another rule that says that rule is not right. So the bottom line is nobody knows. Swamp says, how's it been going for her since she is doing full time? I think she really likes it, Swamp. I mean, she's obviously a lot less stressed not being at a full-time job every day, and she's brought a lot of things to the business already that are great. Great takeaways for me. She sees things through a different set of eyes, a different perspective. And I think she's enjoyed that part of it. I'd probably let her speak to it. Oh, and there she is.
I heard my name.
Hey, Swamp said, how's it been going for you since she is doing this full time?
Hi, Swamp. Am I looking right there?
Yeah.
It's been awesome. I agree with you. Less stress, more happiness. We had a great day today, which I'm sure you've already spoken about. I should have done it sooner, but I think all things happen when and how they should. So only good things to report on this end. Back to your show, Prof.
And there you have it. Straight from Karin. Prom says, I heard GTC pushes your listings down the search rank the longer it takes to sell. Is that true? Some people have made that point, Problem, that because it's not selling, that adjusts your search algorithm to not favor that listing as much. I don't know the definitive answer to that. There probably is a definitive answer. Maybe someone else can chime in on that one. But I think with 30 days or 7 days or 10 days, you're definitely not going to hurt yourself and push yourself in the search ranks because you're going to keep refreshing it. Turtle says, I got laser. I need to buy 2-part sticky rather than cut and tape. Thanks, Prof. Oh, man, Turtle. If you would have said you're doing 2-part, you were doing cut and tape, I would have told you, stop right now. The time you will save and just frustration in not cutting and, way worth it. Get the sticky ones. There's a guy on eBay, Turtle Trader. His name is, I'm going to type it down here. I think his name is Threeb. So if you search for him, he sells all kinds of bulk shipping supplies really cheap. And this guy's got like 1 million feedback. So he's obviously doing something right. So try him for a good source. And, he's very reasonable. He's good prices. So yeah, don't do cut and tape list. Oh, don't do cut and tape. Address labels, man. I did that at first, so I feel you on that. I know how frustrating that can be. Glenn says, have you done anything new or different since she is there more? That's a great question. We've obviously listed more. She has pushed me to list more, no doubt about it, because she's got ahead of me with all those photos, and I was like looking at them and I'm going, I need to get those done. Sadie says he's going for the big show. Debate. Yes, Sadie, we're going to be off here in just over 10 minutes. We're not going to miss the debate, guys. So It should be good entertainment. Scavenger Life says an eBay rep told them GTC does make you stale, but who knows? Yeah, that's the thing. You get conflicting info from eBay sometimes, Yvonne, which, I don't know. I just like the 30 days. It just kind of makes sense. Fun says, I cut my labels by putting clear shipping envelopes. I tried 2-part peels, but didn't like it. What's to each their own fun. It kind of depends on what you're shipping to. With jeans, it makes a nice flat surface. I actually put the labels on first and then put the jean in the envelope. But man, it makes a nice, flat surface. And by the way, guys, one little caveat on that. I sold 2 pairs to someone this weekend, and they were going to the same person. And it was tight, but I was able to get 2 pair of jeans into a padded flat rate envelope. So I was able to ship it for $5.90 instead of 2 shippings of $5.90 each. So sometimes you can save a little money that way. And if they complain about the shipping and say, hey, it shouldn't have cost me so much for shipping, I'll be like, all right, here's your $6 back. Not a big deal. Mark says like $30 for 1,000. Yep, I agree with that, Mark. That's about right. So what is that? 33 cents a label, isn't it? 3? But yeah, I think it is 3 THREERB. Yeah, I think you're right. Fun stuff. Problem says, once you hit 5,000, what's your next target on scaling up your business? Man, that's a great question, Problem. That's a great question. To get to that level, we're going to have to be at an employee probably, and in a different location. So that's all going to kind of depend. I don't know the answer to that yet, but I'll have an answer to it. It just isn't going to be tonight. But that's a great question and something I definitely need to think about. But right now I'm so focused on just the scaling that, it's just going to be a good ways to go for. I have to worry about that. What did I say, Mark? 33 cents a label? Man, I can't do math. What the heck is wrong with me? Noah says 2 pairs. Nice. Yeah. If you've got women's jeans, guys, and they're like size 8 or lower, you can sometimes get 2 of those in a padded flat rate. I won't say it's easy, and you probably want to put some tape on the end, but I've done it a few times now. So, if you can do that, it's great. It'll save you some money. You don't have to ship 2 packages that way. And, it's one less package to get lost too, going to your customer. Not that most packages don't get lost, but, it does happen from time to time. So try that. Try to get 2 things in there. You can. Anytime you can do that, if you sell 2 things to the same person. And by the way, that happens quite frequently with jeans. I don't know if you've had that happen, Mark. I don't know if Mike's still here or not, but it's not that uncommon for you to sell 2 pairs to the same customer. And let me tell you why. Because they go on and they buy, and they get the pair they want from you, and they typically will search on your other items because they figure, well, he's got one, maybe he's got another one. And this particular person didn't buy the same pair of jeans. It was actually 2 different brands, but they were the same size. Will they return one? Maybe, but we'll see. But that happens a lot with jeans. I don't know if that happens with other types of items or not. It probably does, but it's great when it happens because, eBay makes it so easy when you're doing that bulk shipping to just go in and combine those 2 items together, and boom, you're going to save yourself some money on shipping. Even if I would have had to put them in just a package envelope, it wouldn't have cost me $11.80 to ship them. It would have been less than that. Hawaii, what if you have more than Yvonne says you're going to consider, I'm not sure what your question is there, Glenn. You might have left out a word. Yvonne says, going to consider Poshmark. Probably not. But, this kind of goes to what to do after the 5,000. Karen's going to be opening up a store. She's going to be opening up a store on eBay and Amazon. And she's going to be selling different products. It will not be jeans. She's got some products of her own she wants to sell, some collectibles, first of all. But then there will be things beyond that. So that will be part of the business too. And, we'll just be all consolidated. So we were talking about a lot of those things today. and what that would look like. So that's part of what it will look like after we get to 5,000. And we were talking about this today, guys. The goal is to build as Greg Murphy likes to say, a bus-proof business. And if you got hit by a bus tomorrow, your business would keep going. That's what we want to do. We want to build a business where we can outsource enough of it that if we need to go away for a week, we could do that. We could go on vacation and our business wouldn't stop. And that only happens when you find ways to quit working in your business and start working on your business, and have people in place you can trust that are competent and efficient and can run your business when you're not there. So that's a little ways down the road, but those are the plans. And, we want to be able to go for a week and head out to Yellowstone or go to Hawaii or wherever we want to go, and just take some trips and some travel and things like that. And the only way we can do that is we have, a business that can run itself. So that's what we're working towards. It might be bigger than 5,000 listings. It might be 15,000 listings. And that's great. If we can do that. I'm still working, guys, to get approved to sell new jeans from I haven't had any luck yet, but I'm not going to quit trying. So we'll see how that goes. It might take a little bit longer, but there's jeans resellers out there. There's manufacturers out there that want to, they need more resellers, or they need people to sell for them. And it's probably not the big boys like Levi or something like that, or American Eagle, but there's smaller ones, niche brands that can be very profitable. One thing I was going to tell you about too, guys, by the way, 30 people watching. Awesome. Please smash that like button, as Steve Rakin likes to say, if you're enjoying this content. And I really appreciate you guys coming on a Monday night. We are going to cut out here in just a few minutes, so all you can watch this epic debate that's about to happen. I don't know if epic's the word I'd use, but I am considering the PayPal loan process, guys. I've been looking into it, what it looks like. I need to do a little more math on it to figure out if it makes sense, but I've got an idea or two on how it could really help the business out and at a cost that makes sense. So if you guys are looking for capital and you've been a PayPal customer for a while and you've got a certain sales level, you are eligible for PayPal loans. And these loans are basically, you're charged a one-time fee, and they charge you a certain percentage of your sales each day until you pay them back. If you choose the long payment option, the one that takes the longest to complete, you're going to pay the most fee. So be very careful about that. Make sure it really makes sense. But if you need a shot of capital, if you need, a couple $1,000 or $5,000, and that you can, maybe you got a great opportunity in front of you and you can really just knock it out of the park, why not? Why not? That's what working capital is for. You're not going into debt for $100,000. You're going into debt for, a couple $1,000, and your business is going to pay it back. And, if it makes sense, make sure you run the numbers and do your due diligence. And if so, go for it. Fun says that she's used it a few times and loves doing it. That's right. You can have one at a time, I think, and you have to pay it off before you can go to the next one. All right, so we got time for one more question, and then we're going to call it a night, guys. This one's from Problem Solve. Would you ever consider going for a wholesale account with some of the brands you sell more of? Yes, Problem Solved. I absolutely would. The tricky part is becoming a wholesaler is not super easy, because a lot of them want you to have a retail storefront, which I may have a workaround for that in the near future. But as of right now, I'm not able to really get in with the big boys. They also want a pretty sizable order, some of them. Some of them are not so sizable. Like one of the brands I looked up, their smallest order size was $1,000. I mean, that's not a lot. That's not a lot of jeans for $1,000. I don't know what their wholesale price is, maybe $20, because they're a little bit more expensive. So that's like 50 pairs. It's not that many. But the big boys, I can't even imagine what somebody like Levi's would want. They probably want a pretty sizable order and a pretty decent track record in business. But absolutely, I would consider a wholesale account. I mean, I think that's a great way to do business. And if it's a brand you trust and and why not? Absolutely, I think I would do it. So, all right, guys, well, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for coming in. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button before you leave, I really appreciate it. And if you're watching this later, hit it too. Also, leave me a comment down below, and I try to answer every single one of them. And consider subscribing to Prof Sales so you can get every video as it comes out. All right, guys, that's going to do it for tonight. Everyone go check out the debate. You need to be an informed voter, and maybe this will make you make a little bit better decision. And I hope everyone has a great rest of the night, and I will see you all real soon. And as always, it's Prof Sales saying good sales to you. Thanks, guys.